for having me. Well done to everyone who is part of the organization of this program. I do believe that you've taken time out to ensure that this happens. You guys are the real MVPs. Well done, well done, Fumilola and the entire team. I want to commend you for the work that you are doing. Just to clarify before I jump in, I want to be sure. Can I see the comments of participants, or all out sees the comments of panelists? Tolu, can you clarify that?
Yes, you can.
Oh, so I can see the comments of participants?
Yes, in the chat box, yes.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so thank you very much for having me, and thank you for taking time to read out my profile and all, right? So today I hear that a number of the people that I'm going to be speaking to, a good percentage of them are students, but we also have young people here. Right, you guys are welcome to this amazing platform, and some of the things I'm going to share with you are so relevant and useful for life, and I believe that they will significantly, help you. I'm going to be speaking on career, and I would share a bit about my own career journey and lessons I have learned from my career journey that I believe will be very helpful to people in advancing in their own career paths. And I do believe that by the time we're done, you will get some great measure of life from some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, right? So I'm just going to share 4 steps or 4 critical things that I believe that are responsible for you to have a successful career in these times, right? 4 primary things that I believe are necessary or imperative for you to have a successful career in these times. And I'm going to be speaking from the perspective of a young person or the youth, because I want to ensure that all that I'm sharing is relatable to you guys, right? So the first thing I'm going to share, the first point that I want you to take out of all that I want to communicate, is the fact that it is important that, number one, you expose yourself to as many things as possible. If I was going to use an acronym for what I'm going to be sharing, it will be the acronym EPIC. So the first part is the E, and that is expose yourself to as many things as possible. And I'm going to explain this using my story. I decided to go back to when I was in university, right? And I do believe that, students who probably are listening, majority of them will probably be in university, and there are other younger people who obviously will be out of school, right? But I had to go back to when I was in university and how I got into the University of Lagos and all that experience that I had, because sometimes to be able to identify how people have been able to succeed, you want to look at their history and certain patterns that have existed. So I just looked at my own life and I want to share certain lessons from them. So number one is expose yourself to as many things as possible. Now, I graduated from the University of Lagos, right? They say there are only 2 universities in Nigeria, but I won't go into all of that, right? But I graduated from the University of Lagos, and before I got into Unilag, I happened to have joined a fellowship in school, right? A social gathering of some sort, social religious gathering of some sort, right? And it's that story is another long story. How I got into that fellowship that was on campus before I got on campus, very long story. But I won't go into all of that. Myself and one of my friends, my best friend, his name is OC Ukeje. Some of you know him. OC is an actor. He and I, right, we joined that fellowship before we got into school. And we started exposing ourselves to different kinds of things, right? In that fellowship, one of the first things that I did was, I'm going to be sharing things that some of you probably have never heard or know, right? One of the first things I did was I joined the music team, right? So I used to sing once upon a time in my life, right? And not long after I joined the music team, myself and my friend eventually got admission into Unilag. Now, OC's admission was very interesting because I remember that list had only about 6 names on it, right? And his name was on it, and it was the very last list, and he got into school also. So remember what I said, one of the first things we started doing was that we were singing in school, right? From there, I joined the dance team. Some of you will probably not believe that I can move my body, but I can, right? I joined the dance team. And the third thing that I did was I joined, myself and a few members of the fellowship, we became a part of the rap group, right? I used to rap once upon a time in my life. In fact, that rap group is a popular rap group that's called the Rooftop MCs today. There were 4 of us, we later became 2, or they later became 2, right? And I exposed myself to different things whilst I was in school, right? And whether it is via what you do, maybe in a religious fellowship, or what you are doing by being a part of a social gathering that has, or a social community that has a social cause, right? It is important whilst you are studying that you are not just only primarily focused on getting an academic qualification, but you are considering how you can be exposed to different things. Why is this critical? At the point when people are making decisions as to what career path to chart, right? When you are just leaving secondary school, a lot of people are too young and too naive, so to speak, because they have not been exposed to things well enough to decide what career path to go on. So what I notice people do is that their decisions are predicated on what their parents tell them, or their decisions are predicated on what their peers are doing. So for me, I wanted to study medicine, and the primary reason I wanted to study medicine was my peers, right? The brilliant ones amongst us were studying medicine. So I wanted to study medicine. I applied for medicine, but they gave me biochemistry. I didn't get it, they gave me, right? So they gave me a course I had absolutely no business studying, absolutely no interest in. And a number of people who are listening to me right now, I'm sure you can attest to this, that you are probably studying a course that you have no interest in, right? And you probably had a preconceived notion of how that course would be, but right now what you're experiencing is not the reality that you have thought or assumed in your head. Right now, the truth is, in these parts, we're told go to school, study any course, come out, and then you get any job, right? So it's likely that some people are going to come out, and if they're not intentional, they're going to get any job. Now, what am I trying to say? Being in a higher institution affords you the opportunity and the luxury of time to expose yourself to different things. And the point here is, when you expose yourself to different kinds of things, the strongest thing is what will pull you. But if you deprive yourself of that privilege and of that opportunity of exposure, you will never know what should pull you in the direction in which you should be advancing. So what I see happen a number of times is that people are so laser focused on just their academic qualification that they miss out on all the other opportunities that being in a university environment affords them. And looking back and looking at my own trajectory and looking at my own career journey, I see that some of the things that I did when I was in school have literally set a path for me. So I exposed myself to music, exposed myself to dance, rap music, and there was a point in time when I loved the idea of speaking. I'll never forget when I was in my year 3, a gentleman who is my mentor today, Fela Durotoye, came to speak on the secrets of academic excellence, right? Somebody says, Bankole, you cannot see the comments of participants, that's fine, right? So I remember that this guy came in my 3rd year to speak on the secrets of academic excellence. And I sat there in my chair, listening to him speak, and something on the inside of me told me that what this guy is doing is precisely what I should be doing with my life. Because I was a part of that fellowship and I had exposed myself to that quality, of information, I was able to make a connection with what resonated authentically with me. I remember when I joined banking. So when I got out of school, the first job I got was a job in a bank. And I remember when I was in training school in the bank, we had the privilege of having the DMD, who currently is the MD of the bank, Guarantee Trust Bank. We had the privilege of him coming to speak to us in training school. I will never forget something he said that day. He said to us that he loves to hire 2-1s. And I thought, hold on, why would anybody want to be so, attracted to hiring 2-1s when you can hire first-class degree holders? So I was curious to find out, hey, why is that your preference? And he said, I love to hire 2-1s because the guys who had 2-1s were smart enough, to pass their examinations, but they were also street smart enough to socialize, to relate with people. And he said that one of the competencies that's required for you to succeed in your career is the ability to network and to socialize. And sometimes he's found out that people who are just primarily focused on just finishing with the first class, right, and not doing any other thing else, when they come out of school and they have to interact in the workplace and interact with different kinds of people, he found out that they lacked the social competence to be able to thrive in those kinds of environments, right? And this is obviously somebody who has recruited different people. So he was speaking obviously not just from his head, but he was speaking out of experience. Now, this is not to say that having the ambition to finish with the first class is not good. Obviously, I think you should finish with good grades. But the point is that should not be your sole objective whilst you're in school. One of the objectives should be the ability or the potential to be able to expose yourself to many things. You know, when I think about some of my friends who are doing well, who I was in school with, I see that some of the things that they are succeeding in today were things that they got exposed to whilst they were in school. I remember a friend of mine, he and I were in the same fellowship, and he was in the department that was responsible for setting up, you know, the hall, right, that we always used to use for fellowship. He was in that department that was responsible for organizing stuff, putting things together, setting things up. And that's where he started, you know, his event planning, you know, exposure and experience from. He started from there. He eventually, you know, came out of school, got into the banking industry, and today he is the head, right, of the event team, right, in the bank. And he does it so brilliantly well. This is somebody who studied urban and regional planning in school. But I saw him by virtue of exposure, something strong pulled him. And because he pulled him, even though he works in a bank, he has found expression for that which he's passionate about. So I believe that this is so critical, that is important that you are exposed to, especially when you're young, because as you grow older, you don't have the luxury, you know, to be adventurous. But when you're young, you have the time, you have the energy. As you grow older, you have bills to pay, you have responsibilities. You don't have the luxury of time. So now that you are in your youthful stage of life, you want to try out different things, right? And you want to see what in particular is going to pull you, right? And I think that is so critical. Exposure at an early age is critical. You know, when I think of, you know, great people like Tiger Woods, for instance, when we say golf, you know, his name typically is synonymous with golf. Tiger Woods is not number one, but hey, he's someone who has played golf for a long time. Interestingly, I read up about him and I found out that Tiger Woods started playing golf at the age of 2. Right, at the age of 2. So what happened? His father understood the principle of exposing people as early as possible to different things, and something will pull them. His father exposed him to football at an early age. His father would throw a ball to him, and instead of Tiger using his leg to kick the ball, Tiger would go and look for a stick to use to hit the ball. And his father thought that, hey, Tiger has a thing for using sticks to hit balls. Let me further expose him to a sport that involves using sticks to hit balls. I have a video of Tiger Woods playing golf at the age of 4, right? His father had exposed him at such an early age to that sport. Small wonder for several years, he was the best at what he was doing. Why? At an early age, he had the privilege of exposure. Remember what I said, the first point, E, right? Expose yourself to as many things as possible. And then the strongest thing is definitely, you know, going to pull you, right? So the next thing, right, number 2, right, is pay attention to your passion. So as you expose yourself to as many things as possible, right, pay attention to your passion and pay attention to what pulls you, right? As you expose yourself to as many things as possible, pay attention, right, to passion. And what I notice a number of times is that some people are exposed, others are exposed, and they are paying attention, right, to their passion, paying attention to what pulls them, right? So back to, you know, my experience in school. Remember what I said, I exposed myself to different things, but I also paid attention, and I noticed that one thing significantly pulled me, and it was this speaking thing that I'm doing today. I told you about the time when I heard Fela Durute for the first time and something on the inside of me jumped, right? So pay attention to when your baby leaps. The baby on the inside of me leapt. You know, when I saw this guy, I didn't even know that there was a career for speakers. I was curious about what he did, and I found out that he was a consultant. I began to read about management consulting, and I found out that I grew interested in management consulting. Small wonder that today I run a management consulting practice. Now, what am I trying to help you see? I'm trying to help you see that as you expose yourself, you want to pay attention to the moments when your baby leaps, right? Who is living a picture of your future such that when they come around you, something on the inside of you leaps and communicates to you that that thing that that person is doing is something that you should be doing with your life, right? So pay attention. The problem is that a lot of times we don't pay attention. People have been commending you for that thing that you do so brilliantly, and you're not paying attention to the fact that people commending you is an indication that you should explore that opportunity or that you should build a business in that thing, right? People are always coming to meet you to seek your advice in a particular area. People are always coming to meet you for you to help them solve a problem in a particular area. And you are not paying attention to the fact that people demand, your services in that area. What if, right, you could build a business right from where you are in school in that particular thing? The problem is that sometimes we are so used to doing things for free, and we fail to realize that that which we can do for free is actually that which you can charge a fee for. God's desire, one of his greatest desires, is that we can charge a fee doing that which we can do for free. And I'm telling you, whilst we are young, that's the opportunity to begin to pay attention. Pay attention to where your passion goes. Your passion goes in the presence of what? Who is that person that when they do that thing and they do it so well, something on the inside of you leaps, right? What is your greatest frustration? That is also an indication, right, of something you should be paying attention to. Other people are not frustrated by that thing, but for some weird reason, you get frustrated about that thing. Could it be that the reason you are so heavily frustrated about it is because you're supposed to be the solution provider to that problem? Could it be? It's a possibility. Back to, my experience whilst I was in school, I told you that I was in a fellowship that gave us the opportunity to be exposed. In fact, that particular fellowship, right, produced a lot of people who are successful in different fields today. I'll mention some of the popular names of people that that also went to that fellowship. And I can tell you that that fellowship was the foundation, for a lot of the things that we presently are doing today, right? People like OCU, KJ, Ike Osakio-Dua, T.Y. Bello, Lara George, these are just a few of the people that came, out of that fellowship. And interestingly, a lot of the things that they're doing today, they started it then, right? So I'll use Ike, as an example. I remember that back then in school, Ike used to complain about how on-air personalities sounded on radio. It used to frustrate him. We didn't even think there was such a big deal about how they communicated. We thought it was okay. Ike was so frustrated about it. Now, back then, we had a studio at the New Hall of the University of Lagos. So myself and my music guys, my rap guys, we had a studio in a New Hall. I will never forget the day that Ike came to that studio to do a recording of what he felt an on-air show should sound like, what a radio show should sound like. Take note, he was a student. Take note, it wasn't as if there was the opportunity, for him to get a job. It wasn't like there was a vacancy that he was applying for. No, he paid attention, right, to what he was frustrated about. And he decided to create and curate something that he thought was a solution to that problem. So I remember the day he came to do the recording, and then when he did the recording, he now sent that recording to different radio stations. Small wonder he's actually a force to be reckoned with, right, in presenting today. It started from when he was in school, right? He exposed himself to different things, but guess what? He not only exposed himself, he paid attention, right, to his passion. Right? He paid attention to his frustration, and he made sure he was a solution provider to that which he considered a problem. So more than ever before in these times, you don't have to wait until you graduate, right, for you to begin to pay attention to the indicators of your passion. No, it can start from while you are in school. See, let me tell you the truth. When I graduated from school, I had 2 job offers waiting for me. Right now, I know first-class degree holders who don't even have jobs. There are not as many jobs as the number of graduates that universities are churning out. That is the reality of the times. Now, with COVID-19, some people have lost their jobs. What does this mean? It means that as early as possible, you want to begin to position yourself, right, for the workspace. You want to begin to discover certain things about yourself, you know, as early as possible. So remember what I said, pay attention, right, to what pulls you. Pay attention to what makes, you know, your baby leap, right? As early as possible, you know, you want to become curious about what it is that you're passionate about. So that's the second thing, P. Number 3, right, I, is intern. And I believe that internships are so critical, right? Whether you are in school or you are a young person who has graduated, right? Internship doesn't necessarily mean what you do whilst you're in school. You can actually be working somewhere and interning with somebody who you look up to, right? Now, why is this critical? Remember what I said, there are not as many jobs today as there were, you know, in the past. So you have to start positioning yourself for the workplace early. Now, when I say intern, what am I trying to get at? As a student, it is high time you begin to learn that it is important that you serve. Don't wait until you are done with school. Your free time, even whilst you are in school studying a course, you can intern. You can work with someone remotely. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Start today, not tomorrow. Start today. See, it is important that you begin to give yourself some measure of work exposure. See, let me tell you, right? You heard the lady from Jobberman, you know, share, you know, some of her experiences and things like that. Let me tell you, the average recruiter, when they are trying to recruit people, they are asking you for work experience. And then the question now is, hey, if you don't give me the opportunity to have this work experience, how am I going to have work experience for the next place that I'm going to go to? Now, the way to go about gaining that work experience early is by looking for opportunities to volunteer, looking for opportunities to intern, looking for opportunities to serve. Find somebody who has gone ahead of you to succeed in that thing that you are interested in and go and serve them. You want your own dreams to be interpreted, go and interpret another person's dream. When you're on holidays, don't just sit at home chilling. Look for opportunities to work. You are going to be developing certain competencies that will set you apart from the average person if you start today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Seek those opportunities today. You know, I'm reminded of one lady who had worked with me at a particular point in time, and till date, I tell you, she's one of the best staff I've ever hired. And the first time I recruited her, she was in her 3rd year in Babcock University, and she sent me the most compelling cover letter I have ever received. And I'm going to tell you what she wrote, right? The most compelling cover letter. Take note, I was not looking for an intern, but that letter was so compelling that I had to reach her. The same way I'm saying to you that you don't have to wait for there to be an opportunity. You just have to, offer your services. You know, make sure you present value, bring value to the table, and look for the problems that the people that you want to work with have, and look for ways to provide solutions to those problems. This lady wrote this cover letter so compelling. She said to me, she said, you know, Bankole, I know that you're not looking to hire an intern, right? I know that you're looking to hire a full-time staff for XYZ position. But here's what I want you to know. I am at home for 4 months, a ridiculously long time to be at home doing nothing. I want to plug myself somewhere to give value, right? And the reason I'm sending you this message is because I want you to know that I will work twice as hard as anybody that you will ever hire for this position. She said that she will work so hard that when her internship is up, that she knows that I will miss her, right? She knows that the value that she'll bring to the table will be so great and I'll miss her. And to ensure that I don't miss her, she will get somebody who will be equally as competent to hand over to. She would ensure that the transition is seamless. Not only did she say that, she said that she had registered for my conference, Live Your Dreams Africa conference, and that she wanted to give me the opportunity, she wanted to give herself the opportunity to volunteer, and that in that volunteering period, it would give me the opportunity to test all of these things that she has said, right? And if she delivers on her volunteering role, then I should consider taking her for a full-time position. Guys, if you were me, will you not hire her? No, let's be practical here. If somebody brings that much value to the table and says all of that, would you not considering hiring her? Of course I did, right? I eventually hired her as my personal assistant, right? Some people are saying they can't hear me. Please let me know if you can or you can't, because I see somebody saying they can't, right? But if you were me, would you not consider taking someone like that? Guess what? When I took her, she over-delivered to the point that after her internship, she still came back to work with me, went back to school, came back, and even till date, she still does different things for me. Guess what today, right? She's in Abuja, she's a lawyer, but beyond that, today she's a brand influencer, you know, for natural products and stuff like that. She makes good amounts of money online from a number of the things and competencies that obviously she had developed from even working, you know, with me. What am I trying to get at? Guys, stop waiting for jobs to come meet you. They might say that there are no jobs, but listen to me, there is work, right? Some people say they can't hear me. Please let me know if everything is okay, right? Some people may say that there are no jobs. Tolu, please let me know. Can you hear me?
I can, yes, I can.
Okay. Some people may say that there are no jobs, but guys, listen to me. There is work. There is work to be done. Find a way to plug yourself to give value. If it means you have to volunteer and you don't get paid, right? Take up those opportunities and listen to me. Be the first person, right, to resume there when you get the opportunity to work. Be the most hardworking staff. Be the last person to leave. And tell me if after that duration of your internship, you want to go, that they will let you go without offering you some money. Did you hear what I said? Right? Be the first person to resume, be the most hardworking person, be the last person to leave. And tell me whether after the duration of your internship, you say you want to go, they will let you go. The point here is in these times, you must find ways to plug yourself, right, into something. You must intern, you must be involved. You know, think about it. The systems that work effectively the most in this country that have been transgenerational. If you look at the Igbo, what the Igbos do with the apprenticeship system, where somebody interns over a period of time and afterwards the person sets up a business, that is a system that has worked generation after generation. What does that tell you? There is something about internships that you have to consider. Now, if you have not found the thing that you are really interested in that pulls you, I'll give you a hack. One of the things that you can offer to do, or two things you can do. Number one, look for an organization that can give you that vast array of opportunities. So an organization that will have different departments and will give you the opportunity to move from one department to another. The more exposure you get working in a place like that, the more you give yourself the opportunity to have that pull, right? The second thing you may want to consider is the job of being a personal assistant to somebody who is really great. They say he who walks with the wise will be wise, right? Having yourself in that space where you are connected to somebody who is doing great things, right, will give you the, and that's what, you know, happened to Mercy, who was my assistant, right? That it gives you the exposure and the opportunity to become wise even in your own dealings. So remember, internships, very, very critical, Very, very critical. The final one, C. So the acronym is EPIC, E-P-I-C. The final one is contributes to the digital economy. You hear what I said? The final one is contributes to the digital economy. And, we are talking about the new normal of the workspace. Guys, the workspace that we are in, right, is the new normal. The workspace that we're in is the digital economy. And you want to be connected in the digital economy that we found ourselves in. With all that's going on in the world, with the pandemic, with the lockdown in environments, in different places around the world, it is imperative that we have to work from home. Think about it. We're organizing a conference now. This conference ideally should have been a physical conference, but we're doing it online. Why are we doing it online? We're trying to connect, right, with the digital age, right? And you can see that we're still being able to pass information across from the convenience of our homes. Guys, there is a digital economy, and you have to be a contributor to that economy. Did you hear what I said? There is a digital economy, right? And you have to be a contributor. Somebody's asking me, what is the last one? I said contribute, right, to the digital economy. Very, very critical. See, as kids, right, we were told, right, that the world is in your hands. I remember, one of my uncles used to say that the world is in your hands. See, it didn't make sense then. How is the world in my hands? But guess what, guys? Today, it makes a lot of sense because the world is in your hands, in that mobile device that you have in your hand. The world is literally in your hand. You can connect to people all across the globe from the convenience of your mobile phone. You can connect to people across the globe from the convenience, of your mobile phone, right? People are sending some interesting messages on the chat, right? You can connect to your phone, right? From the convenience of your home, right? You can reach people all across the globe. So you need to be a contributor in the digital economy. Did you hear what I said? Right? There are two kinds of participants in the digital economy. There are those who are consumers and there are those who are contributors. Did you hear what I said? There are those who are consumers and there are those who are contributors, right? Majority of us are consumers. All we do on our mobile phones is we consume content. You don't just want to be the person who is consuming content. You want to be the person who is, right, contributing content. So if all you do with your phone is go on people's pages to see what is happening, you are a consumer. But if what you do with your phone is you curate and you contribute content, online, right? You are a contributor to the digital economy. So what am I trying to help you see? From where you are in school, you can be a contributor. This device has become the biggest addiction of our times. Think about it. And if you're listening to me, I can bet you're also an addict, right? Majority of people, first thing when they wake up, guess what they do? They pick up their phone. If you are one of those people, you may just want to indicate and say, I, right? First thing they do is they pick up their phone, right? And, it's almost like you can't help it, right? Let me ask you, how many of you, right, can forget your phone at home and you'll be comfortable for the rest of the day? How many of you can forget your phone at home and you'll be comfortable? How many of you will be uncomfortable when you forget your phone at home? It shows that you are addicted. In fact, you would have driven a good distance, you will turn around because I feel, handicapped, right? If I don't have my phone. You are an addict. You're an addict. How many of you move from one room to another in your house with your mobile phone, right? Say I. How many of you move from one room to another with your mobile phone? Quite a number of you are saying I. Interesting. How many of you will be driving and then a notification pops up on your phone? You don't wait to get to your destination. You have to pick up your phone and look at it, right? If that's you I'm talking about, please say I. right? Let me see another one. How many of you go to the toilets and you go to the toilet with your mobile phone, right? Please say aye, right? If that's you I'm talking about. You see, we're all addicts. We're addicts of this device. Now, my question is, are you a consumer on this device, or are you a contributor of content on this device? The mobile economy is worth $3 trillion. Did you hear what I said? $3 trillion. Are you part of the people whose data is being consumed and contributing to that pool, or are you part of the people who are contributing content and earning and generating income from that pool? You know, in the pandemic, this period, I've been organizing online trainings, right, using and earning from the digital economy. And in this season, I have earned 7 figures, to the tune of 7 figures in a pandemic, when people are locked in their homes, right? I am a contributor to the digital economy. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? I need you to understand more than ever before that, you know, you are not too young to be a contributor who can earn from this economy, right? Who can earn from this economy? You know, I'm reminded of something I saw. You know, yesterday was Juneteenth, right? The 19th of June, and it's a significant day, you know, which is symbolic for the abolishment of slavery, you know, in America, right? And it happens every 19th of June. Now, precisely 1 year ago, right, Google normally changes their doodles, right, to symbolize very important, you know, dates, right? So the Google doodle, so when you go on Google, you know, you see that the icon changes to symbolize a significant day, right? Now, on the 19th of June last year, the doodle didn't change. And a certain guy, right, by the name Davian Chester, saw that the doodle hadn't changed, and this guy created his own doodle. And on Twitter, he tweeted the image. He said, you know, he noticed that there was no image done by Google, you know, to recognize this event. And then he attached the image. Guess what, guys? That image went viral, but the next Monday, I think it was like 3 days later, the guy tweeted that he had been contacted by Google and given a job. By being a contributor on that platform, this guy got a job online. He was not just a consumer of content, but he decided to be a contributor. A couple of years back, right, I think it was 3 years ago, this was, 2017, in Abuja, I organized a conference. I have this conference organized called Live Your Dreams Africa. I do it every year. I did this conference in Abuja, and we needed some people to come and, you know, entertain the participants. And a guy introduced me to these 2 young ladies, twins, Oiza and May, right? And they were in school, they were in ABU Zaria. I met them, you know, young, you know, very enterprising ladies who have beautiful talent. They sing really well. And I gave them the opportunity on our platform to sing. And these young ladies came and they sang, and I literally saw ladies with incredible potential, you know, and I told them, you guys, you ladies, you need to do this thing. You need to go all out. I kept in contact with one of them, May. I kept telling her, May, you need to ensure that you put out your talent online and don't just contribute, but contribute consistently. I kept telling her, make sure you guys do videos and put out your video content online. Guess what? Some of you will probably know them, Oiza and May. In fact, their handle is Oiza underscore, I think underscore May, right? And they're 2 ladies, twins, who always in their bathroom, right, do, you know, sing, they curate their own songs, and then they sing the songs, and then they put this content online, right? The last one they did, right, I remember that it was a song that they sang to Don Jazzy. Don Jazzy saw it, commented on their page, reposted it. These ladies, every time they put out a post, the post goes viral today. See, watch out very soon. Those ladies are going to get, you know, an offer, right? They are going to get a record deal, something really incredible. Why? Because they have not just kept their talent, they have ensured that their talent is on the digital space and they're doing it consistently. The problem is that people are really good at what they do, but nobody knows. It says, let your light so shine upon men. What does that mean? That your light should shine with intensity. So it should so shine upon men and make sure men see your good works and ultimately they'll glorify God, right? So it's important that you're a contributor to the digital economy. You are putting your stuff out there. You are making sure that people know what it is that you do. You are not just overtly humble about that, your gift or talent. You know, you're confident enough to put it out there and to contribute, because I am telling you, you can have a share of the digital economy if you contribute and you're able to convert, you know, that gift that you have into a skill, but ultimately understand the business side of your skill. So guys, do not forget these 4 things which I've shared with you. I believe that every young person needs to know this. If you want to succeed in this time, number 1, expose yourself to as many things as possible, right? This is not the time to say, this is how I am. No, this is a time to be flexible. This is not a time to say, I am not a social media kind of person. I am telling you, you are not positioning yourself for the future of work. This is the time for exposure, time, right, to try out different things. You just never can tell, you know, what the market will gravitate towards. Number 2, pay attention to what makes your baby leap. Your baby leaps in the presence of whom? What is that thing that when you see somebody do, they do it so well, something on the inside of you resonates and tells you that you can do the same, right? Number 3, intern, right? Look out for opportunities to serve. I also did that. When I left the banking industry, I looked for the opportunity to go and serve somebody who was already succeeding in the thing that I wanted to venture into. And guess what? You know, that thing that I saw that guy do is precisely what I'm doing today. I'm a management consultant today, right? Precisely what I saw myself doing. Number 4, C, contribute, right, to the digital economy. Look for ways to ensure that the value you have, you put it out online. I am telling you that in these times, people are earning. Do not be deceived that everybody is making a loss. Think about it. We're using this platform, Zoom. Do you think Zoom wants the pandemic to end? Do you think so? Do you know the amount of engagements, the amount of meetings that happen on this platform, right? People are generating income. Like I told you, same platform I use for my online course. I did a course, you know, called Career GPS, right? Where I was teaching career professionals how to be able, you know, to have a clear roadmap, you know, for their desired career so that they can live their ideal lives, you know, live a life of fulfillment and satisfaction, right? It was a hit, a major hit. And I'm telling you, I earned in 7 digits just by doing that from the convenience of my home. So I'm telling you that you can be young, but you can contribute, right, from the convenience of your home to the digital economy, worth over $3 trillion, right? Are they collecting your money? So you are contributing to someone else's economy who is contributing to yours, right? Remember these 4 things, EPIC. By doing so, you're going to be epic. Thank you very much for having me, guys. I do believe that this has been value adding to you. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Bankole. That was really, really, really powerful. I gained a lot myself. Thank you so much for the time. Very much appreciated. But I can't let you go without talking about that last thing that you talked about, your career GPS program. I had the opportunity to actually even attend it, and it was really, really, really powerful. So just before I know Tolu is like, oh, time is far gone, time is far gone. But I'm going to just, you know, if you could just talk about it a little bit and how, you know, people can actually access it or when the next one is going to happen for 2-3 minutes. We'll really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Bankole.
Okay, beautiful. So thank you for asking about that. So like I said, Career GPS is basically a platform where, you know, I help people understand that they can create their ideal lives. You know, you can live a life of fulfillment, you know, where I address things relating to people's careers, and there are different things. There are some people who, they literally want to grow in their careers and they want to have access to the information that will help them, ensure they grow. There are those who are considering career transitions. How do I transit from, for instance, banking to what I'm passionate about? And there are those who want to set up a business, right? So it's a holistic program that takes into cognizance all of these concerns that career professionals have, so that ultimately they can live a life of financial freedom, they can live a life of fulfillment and satisfaction. And I take a number of people on that journey. So presently, there are 2 plans that are available. You can access the course, right? All the content that we have done, right? You can access that content today, right? That course is available. And if you'd like to partake in that, you can just quickly go to my website, www.bankole.williams.com/courses/career GPS bootcamp gold. So there are 2 plans. There's the gold plan, there's the platinum plan. There's a member of my team here, Oge. Oge is going to be communicating that link. It is www.bankolewilliams.com/courses/career GPS bootcamp gold. Now that material presently, that's the gold plan, right? That material goes for $50. So the gold plan goes for $50. You can have access to that information. The platinum plan is different. It's bankolewilliams.com/courses/career GPS bootcamp career GPS bootcamp platinum. So I believe that Oge has communicated the details of that, so you can go there and access that information. The live session, which would involve me taking a group of people, will be happening in July. We will be communicating that on our pages, right? So thank you very much. So details of that have been communicated by a member of my team, Oge Ofili. So you can literally just go to the page. The link is there to access it.
Thank you so much, Bankole. So all the participants, please check the chat box. There's a link there, and then the details are also there. And Bankole would like to let you go, but not too soon. I just wanted to take a few questions, maybe 2. Then I would communicate the other questions to you via email. So someone says, hello, Williams. I'm so glad how much justice you've done to this topic, being a consistent contributor to the pool of digital economy and how to learn via internship. However, there are so many people and organizations currently doing similar things. How do we strategize and position ourselves in the digital economy such that we stand out in this chosen niche? Daniel Ejalonibu.
So that person is interested in internships, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. So it is important that, I tell people that don't just go looking for a job. Go offering value. The problem a number of times is that people are saying, oh, I just want a job, hire me for free. No. What you need to do now is to begin to observe organizations and observe people. Observe the problems that they have that you can prefer solutions to. Observe the opportunities that exist for those businesses that they may not be taking advantage of, that you want to expose the people to, or you want to expose the organizations to. So I'll give you an example. A friend of mine had a meeting yesterday, right? My friend works in a bank, and he wants to move from the bank to one of the biggest fintech companies. Now, this guy started studying this particular fintech company, and he saw an opportunity for the fintech to generate money, and that fintech had been blinded to that opportunity. So what did this guy do? He sent an email to the MD, right, of that organization. And let me tell you, you can gain access to anybody's email. If you know the email of one staff, you can know the email of the MD. If you're smart, you will know the combination of name and surname to put together to arrive at somebody's email, right? And he sent the MD an email offering value, saying, I see this gap in your business, and in the next few years, this is the amount of money you'll be missing if you do not take advantage of it. Of course, it got the MD's attention. The MD replied him saying, I would like you to do a presentation on this thing. Copied his assistant and told his assistant to set up the meeting. I saw my friend yesterday. He said that he was thinking that this meeting would just be a 15 minutes meeting. They gave him 1 whole hour to deliver a presentation, and the presentation went fantastic. Now, that's what I'm trying to talk about, right? Study organizations, study people. Don't go cap in hand saying, I want a job, right? Look for a need that they have and offer to be a solution provider to that need. Look for an opportunity that they are missing out on. Be the person that will show them, how they can access that opportunity, right? Offer value, and you'll be amazed that, these people would be interested in having you. So that would be my answer to that question.